There's an old story told about a man who needs an operation for his gallstones to be removed. The operation is delicate, it's finally completed. Many weeks later, the guy's walking along the street and he passes his doctor. His doctor says, "Well, how are you feeling?" He says, "Not so good." He says, "What's the matter?" He says, "Well, the stones were removed, but the gall remains." Change lies at the core of the Torah reading this weekend. Gall is hard to remove if it is so embedded inside of us that we cannot divest ourselves of our own negativity. And that is the underlying feature of this week's Torah reading. For we find that when Jacob meets Joseph again, Jacob is called Jacob. Big surprise? It should be a big surprise because his name isn't Jacob anymore. His name was changed after he wrestled the angel to Yisrael. So why is it that in this week's Torah reading he's called Yaakov and not Yisrael? Second question, why is it that the sons of Jacob, the sons of Yaakov, are not called the sons of Yaakov? They are called Bnei Yisrael. What's going on here? And here I think lies the essence. The essence is that when Jacob finally meets his long-lost son, whom he has believed to be dead, his son, Joseph, embraces him, hugs him, kisses him, weeps. But the father doesn't say anything about the father weeping, crying, wailing over his long-lost son. It's almost as if he cannot accept the fact that there's been yet another change in his life. Maybe that's why he remains Jacob and not Yisrael. And there's something else too that is observed by the great scholar Seforno, that he's called Yaakov, and you remember the shoresh, or the root meaning of Yaakov, is heel. And according to the legend that's found in the Torah and extrapolated by Seforno, that Yaakov was shown the heel of the coming of the Messiah. He was shown a picture of what the days would look like and when they would occur, when God would finally release his Mashiach to the world. So that heel of information was given to Yaakov. So for one very positive reason and for one perhaps negative reason, Jacob remains Jacob, incapable of being Yisrael as he's aged. Change is very difficult. Change is very hard. If you eat too much, binge, it's hard to stop. If you watch too much television, if you swear too much, if you spend too much money, doing things habitually becomes so much a part of our being that it is very difficult to change. And when they're done for years and years, and as we get older and older, those changes are most difficult to alter. So Yaakov, although his name was changed, still remains in his core, in his essence, Jacob. But his sons remain or become Bnei Yisrael forever, because they've accepted the change. What do they see? They have suffered tremendously. They have done teshuvah. They have wept. They have bemoaned their fate. They have changed themselves so entirely in their very essence that they truly have embodied the principle of what it means to wrestle with themselves, to wrestle with God, and to rise triumphant at the end because they have changed. So here is the challenge that the Torah poses for all of us this Shabbat. Can we do the same? Can we take a life that is not flawless? Can we take a life that is deeply flawed and try to change those things that deserve most to be changed in our lives? I hope we can do it, especially in the aftermath of celebrating the holiday of Hanukkah with those candles burning bright and showing us that lustrousness can grow in intensity as time passes. It doesn't necessarily have to shrink.